Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Y&R spoilers, Audra's desperate plea to Kane uses charm to save her startup company? The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers tease that Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, will make a bold and desperate plea to Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, to save her company. What is this? After Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, cut Audra off for failing to complete her mission, she felt the pressure to find a new investor to keep Violante alive. Now only does she have a business situation to figure out, Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, is out for revenge. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, told Claire about Victor's plan to break their relationship up, which made Claire furious. Claire confronted Audra about trying to seduce Kyle and it did not go well. Now, battle lines are drawn, and Claire wants to ruin Audra. Claire aims to ruin Audra's relationship. While Claire has no ability to hurt Audra in the business world, she can strike her relationship with Dr. Nate Hastings, Jr., Sean Dominic. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire plans to tell Nate about Audra's seduction scheme. This little scoop will send Nate over the edge, as he isn't sure if he can trust his girlfriend as it is. Kyle begged Claire to let the beef with Audra go. He thinks it will work itself out, without Claire's involvement. But Claire cannot do that. She feels compelled to destroy Audra. It would probably be in Audra's best interest to leave Claire alone. The Y&R viewers will remember that not long ago, Claire literally forced vodka in her grandmother within 4. She has no connection to Audra, so her punishment could be much worse. Audra's plea to Kane. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra knows she needs Kane to save her company. Victor yanked Violante funding from her. She doesn't think that Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, or Devin Winters, Brighton James, would consider investing in her company. That's when Audra approaches Kane. He was open to the idea of investing while in France. So she hopes that he will give her money to get Violante up and running. It will be a bonus if she can seduce him and he leaves Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, in the rearview mirror. What is this? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Audra will pull all the stops to charm Kane to get her hands on investment money for Violante. Keep watching the CBS soap to find out how it all works out. Y&R fans, will Kane give Audra the money she needs? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Remember to watch The Young and the Restless, airing weekdays on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Y&R spoilers, Audra's desperate plea to Kane uses charm to save her startup company? The Young and the Restless is heating up again with a storyline that could shake up Genoa City's business world and stir the pot of romance, rivalry, and ambition. Audra Charles has proven herself to be both cunning and resourceful, but even the most confident power player can find herself backed into a corner. According to upcoming spoilers, Audra may soon be forced to make a desperate plea for help, and the one person who could hold the key to her future may be none other than Kane Ashby. With her startup company hanging by a thread, Audra might lean on her charm, manipulation, and smooth-talking skills to convince Kane that joining forces with her is not only lucrative but also unavoidable. The question is, will Kane fall for Audra's pitch, or will he see through her strategy and turn the tables? Audra's startup has been teased for weeks, a bold move designed to free her from the clutches of Newman Media and stand on her own as a legitimate powerhouse. For too long, Audra has played second fiddle to bigger names like Victor Newman, Nikki, and Victoria, all of whom wield massive control in the corporate sphere. Breaking free and building her own empire would mark a new chapter, but her ambition has hit a snag. Money, influence, and investors aren't lining up fast enough, and competitors are circling like sharks. With her reputation already a mix of brilliance and treachery, Audra may struggle to convince anyone to take her seriously. That's where Kane enters the picture. Kane Ashby has been absent from Genoa City for some time, but whispers of his return have circulated among fans for months. Spoilers suggest Kane could reappear when Audra makes an unexpected proposition. Once a savvy businessman with ties to Chancellor Industries and the world of high finance, Kane knows the ins and outs of boardroom battles. But he also knows what it's like to fall from grace, a reality that could make him sympathetic to Audra's plight. If she can strike the right tone between vulnerability and persuasion, Audra may hook him. The wrinkle, however, lies in whether her plea is genuine or another one of her signature manipulations. Audra has never been shy about using her allure to bend men to her will. She has tangled with Noah, Nate, and Kyle, always using her beauty and intelligence as weapons to gain leverage. But Kane is different. His history of tumultuous relationships, especially with Lily Winters, left him bruised and cautious. He's been burned before, and jumping back into a risky partnership with someone like Audra may seem reckless. Yet, for a man who has been searching for purpose, the chance to rebuild his image alongside Audra's bold vision could be tempting. Kane could view this as a way to re-establish himself in Genoa City's elite business circles, while Audra sees him as her ticket to survival. Of course, Genoa City thrives on complications, and this alliance would raise plenty of red flags. Nate Hastings, who still keeps tabs on Audra, might grow suspicious of her true intentions. If Audra succeeds in reeling in Kane, Nate could view it as both a betrayal and a dangerous development. Meanwhile, Jill Abbott could take a keen interest in Kane's moves. She has always been protective of Chancellor Industries' legacy, and if Kane starts playing in Audra's corner, Jill may step in to investigate whether the startup poses a threat. Victor Newman, too, may not take kindly to Audra daring to create her own empire independent of Newman Enterprises. That kind of rebellion rarely goes unpunished, and Victor could strike back in ways Audra doesn't anticipate. At the heart of the storyline is whether Audra is truly desperate or simply clever enough to play the part. Spoilers hint that her pitch to Kane may involve more than just business numbers. She might frame the deal as a shared redemption arc. For Audra, it's about carving out a place where she isn't beholden to the Newmans or anyone else. For Kane, it's about proving he's still relevant and capable of building something lasting. Together, they could become an unexpected power duo, or crash and burn spectacularly. Romance is another angle fans can't ignore. Audra thrives in entanglements where business bleeds into passion, and Kane's history suggests he could be vulnerable to her advances if she chooses to cross that line. Would she use her charm to get what she wants, and would Kane resist? Such a twist could shake Lily's world, especially if she returns to witness her ex-husband caught in Audra's orbit. A romantic spark between Kane and Audra would open old wounds and reignite feuds that haven't been addressed in years. Lily might not be willing to watch Audra manipulate Kane the way she's done with others, leading to explosive confrontations. What makes this potential storyline so juicy is that it balances high-stakes business drama with deeply personal conflicts. Audra is the type of character who thrives under pressure, yet she also pushes too hard, too fast, often making enemies she can't afford. Partnering with Kane could either elevate her status or spell her downfall, depending on how the cards fall. For Kane, it's an opportunity to re-enter Genoa City's chaotic chessboard, but also a risk that could destroy the fragile peace he's managed to carve out since leaving. Y&R thrives on moral ambiguity, and fans are already buzzing about whether Audra deserves to succeed. She's a character viewers love to hate, a schemer who embodies ambition without apology. Seeing her vulnerable enough to beg Kane for help could humanize her in a surprising way, making audiences root for her even as they brace for the inevitable fallout. If she and Kane strike a deal, they'll both be walking a tightrope where one wrong step could send everything crashing down. As the story unfolds, viewers can expect fiery confrontations, shocking betrayals, and unexpected alliances. Will Audra's desperate plea be her saving grace or the beginning of her undoing? Can Kane resist the pull of Audra's charm, or will he willingly dive headfirst into her dangerous world? With power, money, and hearts on the line, the answer may reshape the future of Genoa City's business landscape forever. One thing is certain, Audra Charles isn't going down without a fight. The stakes surrounding Audra's desperate plea to Kane Ashby will only continue to rise as Genoa City's most powerful players take notice of her bold moves. With whispers spreading about Audra's startup, it won't be long before her every step is scrutinized. While Audra thrives in the spotlight, she knows this kind of attention is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it proves she's on the radar of industry giants. On the other, it puts a target squarely on her back. If she's going to survive, she'll need to play her cards perfectly, and Kane could be the ace she's holding close. Kane's reappearance in Genoa City isn't just about business. His name carries weight, but his reputation is also complicated. Many still remember the scandals, mistakes, and failed relationships that defined his earlier years. That history means his partnership with Audra wouldn't just raise eyebrows, it would send shockwaves. Lily Winters, in particular, may struggle to comprehend why her ex-husband would involve himself with someone as notoriously manipulative as Audra. Their dynamic could reignite old feelings of mistrust, betrayal, and pain. In fact, Lily's reaction might become one of the biggest obstacles to Audra's plan. If Lily feels compelled to intervene, she could rally others against the partnership, framing it as Kane's reckless attempt at redemption. Audra, however, thrives when cornered. If Lily or Nate attempts to sabotage her efforts, she could double down and spin her plea into a story of resilience. She might position herself as the underdog fighting against Genoa City's elites, using public sympathy to secure both investors and credibility. And if she frames Kane as her unlikely ally, the narrative of two fallen figures rising from the ashes could prove irresistible to those looking for fresh faces in the corporate scene. But here's where things get interesting. Kane may not be the pushover some expect. While he's susceptible to emotional appeals, he's also capable of outmaneuvering even the craftiest schemers. What if Kane decides to let Audra think she's manipulating him, only to turn the tables and use her desperation to his advantage? Spoilers hint that their alliance could quickly turn into a battle of wills, with each party secretly plotting to outwit the other while maintaining a facade of cooperation. This cat-and-mouse game could fuel months of storyline, blurring the line between trust and treachery. Meanwhile, Victor Newman's inevitable involvement looms large. Victor has always been territorial when it comes to business ventures, especially those that threaten Newman Enterprises' dominance. If he senses that Audra's startup has potential to lure away clients or partners, he could strike hard. And Victor doesn't play small, he might use intimidation, financial pressure, or even personal leverage to force Audra to back down. Audra, who prides herself on independence, could find herself caught in Victor's web, forced to choose between survival and defiance. Kane's role here becomes critical. Will he stand beside her against Victor's wrath, or will he protect himself by cutting ties? Adding another layer to the chaos, Jill Abbott could reassert herself. With Chancellor Winters already under strain from internal conflicts, Jill won't want her company disrupted by Kane's questionable decisions. If she learns Kane is aligning himself with Audra, she may step in with her usual no-nonsense authority. Jill could warn Kane that he's risking everything by associating with someone whose loyalty shifts as quickly as the wind. But Kane's stubborn streak could lead him to ignore her, setting up a clash that pits family loyalty against personal ambition. The romantic undertones of Audra and Kane's potential partnership are impossible to ignore. While business will be the official foundation of their connection, sparks are bound to fly. Audra knows how to play the seduction card when necessary, and Kane, despite his past, may not be immune to her charms. If Audra decides to blur the line between business and pleasure, she could create a scandal that reignites old wounds for Lily and shakes up Genoa City's social circles. A Kane-Audra romance would be messy, controversial, and deeply entertaining, exactly the kind of chaos Y&R thrives on. Of course, not all of Audra's actions are calculated. Deep down, she's driven by fear of irrelevance. Watching powerhouses like Victoria and Victor dominate the scene has fueled her determination to prove herself. Her desperate plea to Kane may be a rare glimpse of vulnerability, showing that beneath her polished exterior, she craves validation and stability. This human side of Audra could make fans see her in a new light. Instead of being just a schemer, she could become a layered character torn between ambition and the desire for genuine connection. Kane, who also knows the sting of failure and rejection, might be the one person who understands her in ways no one else has. The fallout from this storyline has the potential to ripple across Genoa City. If Audra and Kane succeed, they could reshape the city's business landscape, challenging the Newmans, Abbotts, and Chancellors in ways no one expected. But if they fail, the collapse could be spectacular, leaving both of them in ruins and vulnerable to enemies waiting to pounce. Either outcome ensures drama that will keep viewers glued to their screens. One thing is clear, Audra's plea to Kane isn't just about saving her company, it's about survival, power, and the relentless pursuit of respect. And in Genoa City, every desperate move comes with consequences that no one can fully control.